Day 9, 26 June 2016, 10:53 a.m., Laurel, Montana, Best Western Motel. 4 riders exit for the day's ride. We are behind schedule, but as refreshed as it is possible to be. We take our time properly rolling and stowing the heavy leather gear we hope we won't be needing today. Lastly, our daily needs Harley bag is strapped down before we subject our backsides to the rigors of hard riding. Smiles once again drape our mile-weary mugs. We are warned by several locals that the interstate is a different animal than it used to be. Not too long ago, there was no speed limit. Now it is capped at 80 miles per hour. We are warned not to go over that because the highway patrol will stop and ticket you. We thank them for the information and set out. For the first hour of the ride, I do not deviate from that speed. I set the cruise control at 80 and lock it in. I am able to verify my speed with the built-in navigation system. One of the 2 available data fields is set to speed, and I am now running 79 according to it. I quickly begin to realize that I am not the fastest thing on the road. I am being passed. Now for a cager, a person in an enclosed vehicle, this is normal and respectable. I have to stress not all bikers feel this way, but for me and the guys I ride with, the slow and sometimes not so slow creep of the speedo in the upwards direction is normal. If you or another vehicle are passing me, generally speaking, you are in a big hurry or an emergency vehicle. It is just the way it is. It may be my age or my competitive drive, but it irks me to be passed. Not so much an individual car. I will let a singleton get on with their bad self, but when the flow of traffic is telling me I'm the outlier, it's time to join the pack and lead. Lead, but only slightly to avoid possible tickets. So the grand scheme to stay at 80 to avoid an unwanted ticket is quickly abandoned. We simply have too many miles to go. My right hand can't help but throttle up, but just a little. The cruise control is now set at 85. Is that right, minivan? You want to pass me on the right? I growl with a scowl. I got your 90 and see you 5. Setting the cruise, I put my heels on the pegs. See you later, soccer mom, and your drooling mini-me strapped in the back. I got miles in another state to see. Carry your groceries back to the comfort of your warm home. Freedom of the open road is my future. The day reveals such a beautiful landscape of rough, low scrub brush and periodic pimple-like mounds of rock formations. Rivers and high plains pass in a blur of beauty and fill our lungs with air that is clean and fresh. The bright, clear sky and cool temperatures trick unprotected riders into complacency, causing unexpected sunburns from overexposure. You just don't feel the flesh burning. At the next fuel stop, the bright red irritation reminds me of the sunscreen tucked away at the bottom of my saddlebag. It has been long forgotten and covered by the recently stowed heavy clothing that saved our hides 2 days prior. Lubed up with sun protectant and a new bottle of water tucked into the bottle holder mounted to the bars, we roll on. Mounds of rock replace the ranges and become sporadic. 2 of the distant, diminishing rock mounds look like perky breasts and cause the adolescent child in me to giggle to myself. Laughs, words, and comments are commonly lost sentiments in the winds of acceleration. They are stripped out of the mouths of jolly riders. This lack of communication with my partner and the other couple sends me daydreaming. I imagine that I am a cowboy on this open range, just me and my horse. My ranch is miles away. It is a modest cabin by a lake, with cattle as far as the eye can see. The only landmark being 2 mounds of rock reminding me of my lover awaiting my return. In my daydream, I use this giggle-worthy terrain feature to navigate home. I take a left and ride for a mile. Then I am home on my Montana ranch. Cowboys riding this range back in the bygone eras would not have to sweat the danger soon visible to me as I pull my thoughts back to the present. It is a highway patrol officer in the median, facing me. This snaps my daydreaming mind back to the speed adjustments made earlier in the minivan race. My next stream of utterances is not for the young or sensitive, and was not lost on my long-suffering tough wife. She leans forward and says, "What?" in my ear just as she sees the ticket machine that's parked in the middle of the 4-lane road. She, of course, has just the right thing to say to calm my racing bike and mind. "Ooh, you are so busted," as she laughs maniacally. I think, "Thanks, babe. You won't be laughing if I'm cuffed and stuffed." It would be a long walk for an Oklahoma girl stuck in Montana. I am bewildered, though. Where are the lights? I did not even bother to tap the brake or cut the cruise as I go screaming by this rackback who has me dead to rights. If I were to get ticketed, I couldn't even argue weather, car position, traffic, anything. I am confused and keep looking in my rearview mirrors for miles waiting for the inevitable ticket coming my way, which does not come. So, do I ease off the rocket speed we are traveling? No, of course not. The land speed record is not ours, but the next state comes into sight soon enough at our 95 miles per hour run out of Montana. We cross the border into North Dakota, and I point out its passing to the other couple. They hold up their hands, expressing excitement at another state down. The land is really flat now and reaches ridiculously into the horizon. Very few of the mounds present themselves now, replaced by acres of wildflowers. What hits us now is an odor like no other. It is not one of the 7 wonders of the world, but it should be considered. What I'm referring to is the overwhelming, invasive, powerful fragrance of the prairie flowers. Like the livestock yards we passed in Idaho, the strength of these fragrant wild blooms drive down in the olfactory nerves like nails. Instead of dirty animal waste, we are inundated with what can only be described as new dryer sheets neatly rolled and shoved up your nose until it strikes your brain. I would not have thought it possible to feel such revulsion to a good smell as to a bad one, but it is happening. My only recourse is to pull my dirty, sweaty shirt up over my nose for protection. One could argue that any smell received at the current velocity would do this. I can't dispute that. Speeding or stationary, the smell is just as overwhelming. Upon the next stop, I complain about what the wildflowers in the construction zone are doing to us. We have been 100 miles in a construction zone that has no workers. The usual temporary road cones have been replaced with tarred down permanent ones. They are round stick-shaped vertical tubes, bright orange in color with reflective tape on them. Once or twice, the tip of my left boot, which is sitting on my road peg, has struck one of these useless barriers. Striking one is unnerving at 65, but at 90, it is next level alarming. My riding partner says, "I was dozing off that last stretch. There's just nothing to see except these stupid road cones." With that comment, I know we need some excitement. 90 miles per hour is not enough for the saddle raw riders in this tale. Faster could not hurt anyone. I tend to use excuses like this to justify my misdeeds. After the refuel, I run the bike up to 100 and set the cruise. I don't say that to impress anyone or brag, but miles of corn in either direction makes a person want to just get through it. One thing that is odd, and I have noticed more as life drags on, is what you can get used to. After riding for hours at 100, every other speed is like a slow motion film. A couple of times we were forced to cruise at 70 for a little bit, and it feels like 40. I can stand up and stretch and feel comfortable doing it. Before this experience, 70 was a white-knuckle ride on the interstate. It is not complacency, but confidence. I now have the knowledge to function at that speed. Even my reaction times are faster. The land lays flat, straight, and feels endless. It is nothing to kick my heels out on the road pegs and just live in the moment. I am in a zone, listening to the whoosh of the permanent construction road cones humming out a tune. It is a tune that changes with proximity and speed, low and sweet at a gentle pace, and high and melodic at a forced pace. It whispers in the right side of the lane and croons in the left side. If you think the road doesn't talk to you, get out of the box you're riding in and listen. Be careful though, hazards exist, like the second highway patrol that brings me out of my oneness I feel in the moment. They are parked in the grassy center divide. I, of course, am a rolling rocket at 100 miles per hour, which is not a conservative speed by any means, in the construction zone that never ends or is repaired, nonetheless. The car does not move or reproach me like the officer in Oklahoma. Not a single sign that the officer cares, that my speed is triple digits, or that I'm burning up his state's blacktop. With this officer in my rear view, my ever-faithful wife has something new to say. She snuggles her breast on my back and screams over the roar of the wind and bike, "You lucky dog! I hope you don't jinx me with that remark." I holler back at her, to which I get a bouncy laugh felt despite the vibe and thrum of the 103 motor. It is not yet the end of the day, and we are only about halfway through this epic adventure. I am amazed at the fields of corn we pass. When you are traveling for 8 hours and all you see is corn-wrapped towns, I wonder who is eating all this stuff. The miles tick off, and with me riding lead, I am on the left-hand side of the lane. It is the only occasional slap of the permacones on my toes that reminds me to stay vigilant. The day's weather is too nice. The hum of the motor is too rhythmic to stay sharp. This day must end soon, or I will meet a grassy swan dive in the median from boredom. At the next stop, we decide that an oil change is needed. It just so happens that we are about 100 miles from Jamestown, North Dakota, where Stutzman Harley-Davidson is able to do the service. We agree to stay there and drop our bikes off in the morning for servicing. This means we get to sleep in and have a relaxed day tomorrow. The last stretch goes as the previous ones. Run it up to 100 miles per hour and lock it down for an hour. 531 miles in one day. With the late start we had, not half bad. We chow down and hit the rack. It is becoming a welcome routine. Tomorrow we will pick up more than just one state, and it will feel more like a 48-state trip and not just another all-day construction zone jet run. To the 2 highway patrols from the 2 different states we passed today, I appreciate you for the pass, and I am glad I was not gifted shiny bracelets and county accommodations. Thank you both. And to those I did not see who gave me a break, thank you as well. That is all for today. Until next time, my name is James Parker, and I am a Savage Rider. Savage Rider, out. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, consider giving it a like and sharing it with your friends. If you would like to be notified of future releases, consider subscribing to my channel. If you think it was cringe and absolutely ridiculous, go ahead and tell me in the comments below. Then share it with your friends. They may need a dose of cringe silliness today. Either way, thank you and God bless.